Professor Abdi Kulie, Jacob. The Vice Chair is not with us here, she's still in the field. I'm Ezra Chiloba, the CEO. And of course, we have the Chairperson of the Commission, Mr. Wafula Chebukati, and I want to take this opportunity to welcome him. And as he finishes his remarks, if there are any questions that you want us to answer, I will allow for a few questions, we'll be able to respond, then we'll allow us to go back, deal with the other issues that might be emerging. Mr. Chair, welcome.
Good afternoon. This is our second update today. The voting process is going on smoothly throughout the country, but there are some issues that we need to highlight. A majority of the polling stations opened on time. As stated in our earlier update, a number of polling stations were not open due to adverse weather conditions and associated logistical challenges. Weather conditions affect 4 areas: Turkana North, that's 4 counties. Turkana North, 4 polling stations are yet to open. Turkana Central, 4 polling stations are affected. Turkana West, 4 polling stations. Turkana West, 2 polling stations, and Loima, 8 polling stations. Those are as a result of adverse weather conditions. We expect that the materials will reach there in due course, and voting should start immediately thereafter. Wajir South, there's 1 polling station affected due to logistical challenges of a mix-up in SD card. That particular item is on the way, and voting is expected to start as soon as possible. In Laikipia North, 3 polling stations were affected by insecurity. Security forces have since restored calm in the area, and polling has commenced. Ballot papers for Ndia constituency in Kirinyaga were delivered to a polling center in Nakuru East constituency and vice versa. We airlifted the papers to the correct polling stations, and voting is going on as we speak. We wish to assure you all that for the polling stations that opened late and those that are about to open, we will compensate the time by extending the voting period by the same amount of hours that were lost before opening. As mentioned in our earlier update, we are aware of reports that the identification took longer than expected, while some officers had challenges switching on their KIMS kits. Where the finger scanner does not work, our clerks are using alphanumeric identification option by using ID numbers. The robustness of the KIMS system provides various voter identification options, which have provided voters with a remarkable voting experience. Rejected ballot stamp used in Embakasi South in Nairobi, that has been in the news, the social media and news since morning. That particular ballot, those ballots that were cast are not invalid, as rejected ballot papers are stamped in the front of the ballot paper, not at the back. The officer who was involved has been fired and been replaced with another officer. Allegations of marked presidential ballot papers prior to polling have been all over the air. Our staff have confirmed that these allegations are not true, and that is the case in Sabata constituency, where it was found that a drop of indelible ink had been accidentally dropped on 1 ballot paper against the name of, bearing the name of 1 particular candidate. But that paper is valid, it's been cast, So the rumors that emanated from there are not correct. Similar allegations came from Mariakani ward in Kilifi about marked ballot papers. We have noted that that particular mark has nothing to do with the ballot paper marking. It was a printing mark, and the agents and the presiding officers have since resumed polling in Mariakani. We have noted also that in isolated cases, clerks are not completing validation of voters. That was happening in the morning. Voters who have once been identified and using the KIMS gadgets. We have instructed our returning officers to ensure that this is done, and we urge agents to confirm that this process is completed. Voting in prisons is going on smoothly, and we expect that the 5,528 registered voters in prisons across the 103 polling stations will finalize voting before 5 p.m. today. However, it's important to note that our fellow citizens in prisons are only voting for their preferred presidential candidate. Indeed, this is a big milestone in the history of our electoral management in the country. It's the first time that prisoners are exercising their democratic right. Equally, we have 4,300 Kenyans who are registered as voters in diaspora, which includes Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, and South Africa. And they have started voting at the local time in those countries, that is 6 a.m., in 10 polling stations. And voting will close at 5 p.m. in the local time of those countries. We take this opportunity to invite Kenyans once again to direct their questions and seek clarifications from our 24-hour call center. The hotlines are 1527, 1537, 1538, and 1539. Thank you very much. If there are any questions, you can pose them to us.